man that tells you that you are intimidating is not telling you that you're intimidating. What they're telling you is that they are intimidated, which those are not the same thing. Those are two completely separate things. Intimidating, that's like watching Genghis Khan and his horde arrive at like the foothills of your city about to completely like demolish your town. That's intimidating.
You don't know what words mean, do you?
Alrighty, so before we begin today, I should probably address the 8 trillion ton Tyrillian spider elephant in the room. I recently had the opportunity to upgrade my intergalactic space bounty hunting cruiser. It's a lot more spacious, it costs less than my previous setup, and it's given me the opportunity to see parts of the universe that were once closed off to me. But the only two drawbacks is that there's too much of an echo in the cockpit right now, and the seat is screwed up my neck again, and I'm sure in time I'll be able to fix both, but until then, you really can't have it all, I guess. But now back to the show. Woman, first off, it's Genghis Khan, and second off, if you saw this horde coming to your village to pillage, then you wouldn't be intimidated. You'd be terrified to the point of involuntary bowel evacuation. And that's not you, sweetheart. But even if the attack was downgraded to a group of blade-wielding ruffian preteens, they would still be more intimidating than you. And that's because there's nothing intimidating about you in the first place. You're full of yourself, stuck up, and your voice reeks of a smug attitude that nobody likes. And that's not intimidating, that's annoying.
A person that has a job and is financially independent and is not a doormat, that's not intimidating. That's the bare minimum. And when they say that they're intimidated, what they're saying is that they feel insecure because they know that the fact that you are meeting the bare minimum will highlight the fact that they are not even trying. So it's not even a manipulation tactic. It's literally, they're just a loser.
Speak for yourself, moron.
Oh my god, that is funny!
You know what? I am almost impressed. Here we have a modern woman who almost had a grasp on the concept of being a functioning adult in today's society. I mean, she almost had it. Now, I agree, having a job and paying your bills is the bare minimum one needs to be in today's society. But then she turns around and does something that's about on par with your modern woman. She freaking gatekeeps it. Woman, I can assure you, you're doing less than the bare minimum in today's society. Your credit score can attest to that. Now, I get it. You're a paragon of modern womanhood. You work 40 hours a week at a job you can't stand, you're childless, friendless, and have zero romantic prospects, and instead of working on yourself and gaining a better understanding of who you are as a person, you lash out at the world around you and condemn the men for not wanting to be with you, even though there's clearly nothing worth being with. And that's not our fault. We're too busy being self-sufficient to notice your lack of a contribution to society. But never let it be said that I wasn't fair when it comes to modern women almost figuring things out. I guess you do deserve some recognition for your discovery, so here you go, woman. You've earned it.
Congratulations!
Single men all over the world are writing to me and saying that one of the reasons they're afraid to approach is that they're too ugly. If you're one of those men who wrote that to my video about being afraid to approach women, I want to talk to you. First of all, I would look at your profiles just to see what you were even talking about, and I would always be so confused because y'all look like really nice guys. And it occurred to me, as women, we feel so much pressure to get our hair done, have the right makeup, dress a certain way, be a certain size to attract men, but I haven't spent a lot of time really thinking about what that means for men who are also suffering from low self-esteem because of all the pressure that they're under to look a certain way.
Wow, that's fantastic work, man. You have the wisdom of a 6,000 or 7,000-year-old man. That's fantastic. We don't have to fill up the whole blackboard after all.
But you're forgetting something, sister. If you ask the majority of self-respecting men, they will tell you that we actually don't like the unhealthy amount of makeup you rub into your skin. I mean, sure, a little bit never hurts, but modern women take the makeup to a degree that's so extreme, Vanilla Ice himself would tell you to tone it down a bit. Go Ninja, go. However, when it comes to men, women don't share the same sentiment. Modern women just assume that the norm for men is for them to look like the pinnacle of masculinity. They expect us to spend 4 hours a day at the gym, be up to date with the latest fashions, drive a nice car, and to be generous with the money we earn. And the second we don't meet those expectations, we're considered ugly or creepy. It's no longer the idea that we look nice, because in the eyes of the modern woman, nice guys are dusty. And if we're being perfectly honest, modern women don't want nice looking guys, they want the prize. And they have no idea what they do with the prize if they were ever lucky enough to catch it.
I'm all for trying to look your best, and that's something that I work with my clients on. But it seems like we've got a lot of work to do around mindset and how we're going to get around this feeling that you're not good enough, because you are. If you're tired of feeling this way, join our group. Let's get started and let's start feeling better so you can actually attract the love of your life.
Nope. That would be a waste of time.
Lady, I would be inclined to agree with you if it wasn't for the problem that in today's society, it's no longer good enough for men to be good enough. Being good enough in the modern woman's eyes is nothing short of insulting. It's just a backhanded way of saying that she's settling. Now, I'm all for the changing of mindsets, but we're so far down this garbage disposal of Western romantic culture that there's virtually no changing it. There was a time when there was nothing wrong with a man being good enough for a woman, but those days have gone the way of 8-track tapes and Saturday morning cartoons, and they ain't coming back. The expectations and standards have both grown way out of hand, and the double standard is enough to make your friggin' head spin. Men have to be perfect, and nothing short will work, but women can have all the imperfections and traumas they desire, and that's totally fine, because it's patriarchy for a man to not want a woman whose head is more screwed up than a knife-wielding Britney Spears. And I do agree. There is a massive confidence shortage when it comes to men. Men should be self-improving because they owe it to themselves, not so they can attract some dame who's barely going to respect him.
Indeed!
I will never understand the girls who are like, oh, I like him more because he doesn't want me, or when he's not into me, then I'm into him. Girl, no, that's not you. That's just your attachment style. Like, I'm sorry, but if a man is not absolutely obsessed with me, willing to die for me, and will do anything to win me over, I don't want him. Like, point blank, you're boring to me.
Liar! 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 I know I'm asking quite a bit here, but woman, could you be serious for once in that meaningless life of yours? The only men you want are the ones who don't want you. The men who do want you and will bend over backwards to make you happy are the ones who bore you. It's the men who have more common sense than to step in front of a moving train for you are the ones that you crave. All we have to do is listen to your gibberish. It's so dramatic and over the top that it proves my point. Let's use your absurd example of a man who'd be willing to be unalived in your honor. Would you want the man who'd dedicate the ending of his life to you, or the man who'd say, hell nah? Let me answer that for you, because you're a terrible liar. You want the man who isn't willing to, because it's the fact that he doesn't live his life by romantic dramas and refuses to trade his life for yours is what intrigues you to the point of unrealistic infatuation. The other guy could give up the mortal coil over and over again and you'd never blink an eye because you expect that of him. Which just goes to show that it's not your attachment style, it's just that you're a terrible liar.
Because I know there's somebody else that will. So just remember that if a man is not absolutely obsessed with you, willing to travel the world to see you, to make things right, to win you over, to do literally anything just to be with you, then he's not your man. And if you find yourself not being attracted to that behavior, then fix your attachment style, because it's your attachment style that likes the chase, not actually what you really want deep down inside. So just remember that.
It's not you, it's me. No, actually, it's not me. It is you.
Translation, I was traveling in Europe, getting drunk at a club, and I hooked up with Francois. And we had fun for a few weeks, and I fell madly in love with him, and he pretended to care because of easy access to my gunky hell chamber of eternal lifelessness. I assumed he'd be interested in a long-distance relationship, only to find out that he wasn't willing to travel internationally just to see me. And instead of accepting that I got played and moving on with my life, I'm telling the internet that it's my attachment style and not my unrealistic expectations when it comes to my lack of a love life. And even though my somewhat average looks could be enough to get myself a halfway decent guy, I'm going to delude myself into thinking that I deserve better for reasons that I'll never be able to fully comprehend, so I will just instead resign myself to a fate of social media addiction and K-dramas, as that's just easier to accept than an above average man. On a scale of 1 to 10, how close am I?
10. If you are in the talking stage with a guy, here are 5 things that if they do these things, run the opposite direction. And some of these are very self-explanatory. Number one, if he doesn't want to be seen in public with you, that is the biggest red flag ever. Like, if you're inviting him out places and he's saying like, no, just come over to my place, like just come over, that is the biggest red flag. He does not want to be seen with you and he's just using you, so leave him. Two, if he doesn't want people knowing that you're like seeing each other or that you hooked up or this or that, like if he's being secretive around you, like, and not telling his friends about you, that is a red flag. A lot of people have their reasons for not sharing things about relationships. I, for one, don't think you should share everything about a relationship. But also, when I like someone, like, it's something that I want to talk about with my close friends. Like, I want to talk about this guy that I'm seeing.
Nobody cares what you think.
I hate to break it to you, sister, but the reason why he doesn't want to be seen with you in public or take you out on any dates is because you're not in a relationship. You're not dating either, and hell, this isn't even a talking phase. That's just a phrase you use to bury your head in the sand to avoid the truth. And the truth is, in the context with which you're setting, you are a concubine. Nothing more and nothing less. And it sounds to me like this guy made it obvious. But let me ask you a question, woman. Which is a worse red flag? The man who's making it abundantly clear that he's interested in nothing more than bedroom fun, or the woman who has no problem providing him with said bedroom fun? Because if what you're saying is a red flag, then it's one that you're ignoring, and you're hoping that your body will be enough for him to change his mind. Just so you know, it never will be. But I have common sense, so I guess that explains why you'll never understand that.
3, if he has a girl best friend, that's not a problem. Like, I have a lot of guy friends, like that is not a problem. But keep your goddamn eye out. 70% of the time, the girl best friends are like the nicest people ever. But that other 30% of the time, girl, they are preying on your downfall. One of my exes had a girl best friend who was so nice to my face, and turns out she was trying to get with my boyfriend the entire time we were together. So if your boyfriend knows that his girl best friend has a crush on him, be careful. If a guy that you're talking to is like not responding to your messages and like leaving you undelivered for like a day, the honest truth is that he probably doesn't want to talk to you. Like, my thing is, if I genuinely like someone and someone likes me, like, we usually talk pretty often. But the matter of fact is, you deserve someone who you feel like wants to talk to and wants to spend time with you. So I don't know, maybe that's kind of a red flag.
That's not my problem. It's yours.
All right, sweetheart, if a man takes a day to respond to you, it's probably because he has a job. Men's lives revolve around a lot of different things. We're kind of busy and we have a lot of important things to do in a day, and one of them is not to stop whatever we're doing at any time to send you a text with an LOL and an emoji. But come on, even if this wasn't considered a red flag, you'd still see him texting with you too much as a red flag. What you meant to say was that he needs to be texting you regularly to help you get over your insecurities, but not too much to the point where he's giving you creepy, clingy vibes. He needs to have girl besties, but only at arm's length. You're setting up a game so that no matter what the man does, he's wrong. But what you don't want to realize is that these men that you want don't play by your rules. They don't have to. You'll let them break the rules at any given time if you think it'll give you a chance to make him your boyfriend. These rules are only for the average men that you're willing to settle for when you're ready to have a baby and a divorce.
If you guys have just been talking for like a very short period of time, if he's moving really, really fast and like, wow, this guy really, really likes me, watch out, because you could very well be getting love bombed and you don't even know it, because it is the worst feeling ever. So if he's like a week in telling you that he loves you, babe, I'd be scared. And those are just a couple of red flags that I've dealt with and I don't like.
I don't care! When it comes to the modern woman, it's typically a safe bet to say that whatever she says, we need to take it with about a dozen minds worth of salt. Now, I do agree that she's had more epic dating fails than a nerd in a 1980s teen sex comedy, but the difference is that at least that guy got a girlfriend by the end of the flick. Now, I certainly doubt that you met a man who proclaimed his love for you within the first week. You're not drawn to dudes with that kind of insecurity. But let's say that you did meet a man who did say he was madly in love with you in the first week. So what? That's not love bombing. That's a dude who's a little bit too into you. Just dump him and walk away. It's not like you've never done that before, but then again, you're a modern woman, and you can never pass up an opportunity to be a victim, no matter what. It's the only thing that keeps you going in that meaningless existence of yours. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.